Alright, so I am going to do a dancer one. And really you should do dancer. I should have done it right after class. Because you need to be warmed up to be able to get the actual back bend. And I saw that Hillary had said about keeping your hips square. Ultimately, yes, you're trying to keep your hips square. A lot of times on Instagram, and even I would say guilty of this, but it's more aesthetically pleasing when you allow that hip to open up, but it's not necessarily correct form. So even though you're thinking you don't have correct form, if you're keeping your hips square, you're fine. It doesn't matter how far you're bending, how straight your leg is. Those are all things to work towards, but it's not the ultimate goal. Just kind of going where you are. Okay? So, natarajasana, dancer pose. One of my favorites, but again, I don't always do it the right way. So, I like to balance on my left leg, which means I probably should do it on the other one, just for practice. It's more open on the side of my back, so it's always the way that I end up trying to go for. When we're doing dancer pose, you reach the one hand up towards your ear, the other hand comes down by your side, and you reach for the outside. I always say outside, it's actually the inside of your foot, but it's the back of your foot. So you reach for the back of your foot here, and getting your balance, grounding down through all 4 quarters of your foot that is stabilized, reaching up, and then you're shifting your weight forward when you're ready, trying to find a focal point. If you can find a focal point, you'll be able to go into it deeper. And then you're actively kicking the leg that's lifted back into your hand, reaching forward on the balancing side. Here, trying to keep the hips square, and then bringing it back up. Now, as you see, it doesn't go nearly as deep. When I let my hip open up, I can straighten my leg more. So for this, I actually have to reach back more on my shin because my arm isn't long enough. So again, I reach forward, still kicking it back, reaching, but my hip is opening up here some. And bringing it back down. Actually, I feel like I did a better job of keeping my hips square that time. But you have to be careful when you start to pull it open. Your hip's going to open up to the side, and the goal is to actually still keep it square with the floor. If you do one side, ultimately you should try the other side. One side's always going to be easier. It already hurts just to lift this one. See how my hip's opening up there? That's if I'm looking at the camera. But if you keep looking forward and cheat, I have a dresser here, you can lift it up, reaching it forward. Can't even balance on the side, see what I mean? Definitely one side is easier. I talked my way through the one side, left side, couldn't even balance. So, there you go. Natarajasana dancer pose.